Is this working? Right, I thought I'd jump on quickly, and if anyone's got any questions about the XC, we're about to start on that. It is the beginning of the holidays, so it's April Fool's Day. Pardon me. And I thought it wasn't a bad idea to sort of, we've got a few nice days coming up, get the Ford out, get a whole lot of jobs done. Basically, I've got to get some parts sorted out for it. So seat belts re-webbed for the front, interior plastic trims, I've got to paint those, that's pretty easy. Have a tail shaft made, and I'm sort of dependent on all these places being open throughout Easter, or after Easter. I've got a bit of time. Finished making up brake lines in the back, bleed brakes, and I've got to modify the clutch fork because the actuator pin's on an angle. I never mentioned that before, but it is. Buff out the boot, fit the boot trims, and basically get it to the point where I can drive it. And I want to move it from where it is in the bottom corner, and that will give me access, much better access to it. We'll put the XW at the back. I'll take it for a home in. We'll take it for a nice drive. And then what I would really like to do, g'day Phil, is have it so that I'm ready for roadworthy in the spring. It's a long shot because of that guard. I might give one of the guards to somebody just to get them to beat it out and make it straight. What's the best way to split door seams? Hi, I'm doing a live feed. Do you want to come in?
No, there was something on the computer.
Oh, do you need it?
Did you get dinner?
Oh. I'll go and get some. I've done finishes, so I can't get some. Where was I? What's the best way to split door seams? Are you taking the skin off? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you mean? Door seams? Just let me know what you mean. So there's a shopping list here, and I'm ready to take action on it. I also got to get a hopefully John. Oh, okay. So hope you're well, buddy. Thanks, Mark. Right, Katie, the way I did it is I ground off the edge where the door skin is folded over the frame, and I just ran a grinder or a flappy disc along that edge, so the bottom of that part fell off, and then the whole skin will come off. But the new ones, you got to hammer and dolly them around that door frame. And if you're going to reuse the door seams, it's a bit, or the door skin, it's tricky because quite often the way they're hammered down, when you go to undo them, I mean, you kind of might have to anneal them with a torch because they can quite often snap, those thin bits of metal that are sort of folded underneath. I ended up damaging mine when I took it off the other door frame, but I ended up welding it and then grinding the welds back to try and get the door shut line right. So I've amassed this shopping list. I'm ready to go and get some stuff. These seat belts, I spoke to Andy from the Ford Forum. He's a good friend, and he went to a joint in Brayside and got his rewebbed. So that's all right, Katie. It's a pleasure. And so that was, he had a very quick turnaround with that, so I'll take mine there and see if they can reweb them for me. And I want action stuff sooner than later, because we've got, in the first week of holidays, we've got some really quite nice weather. And it just makes things so much easier when you're pushing cars out and this sort of stuff. But I want to get this car pushing business out of the way. I'm fed up to the back teeth of it. And then I can just drive the thing and back it in, fit the front guards, the headlights, bumper grill, and then it's ready for roadworthy, basically. So I've never had a tail shaft made. It's a joint in Furniture Gully, Knox drive shafts, I think. And I've got the XW's old shaft, but the yokes, the universal yokes are the same as the one that's in the XW now, which is from an XD 351 that was originally in an XC, so it should all be the same. So we'll take that off and measure it up, and it should all be pretty good. And that's probably about it. I just thought I'd come on quickly and make mention of that. We've only got 26 people here. I'm very early. What is it? 10 to 7. I'm normally not on at this time, but I figured I'd get on, and if there's anyone with any questions, I can answer them. I'm down to my last couple of tea bags. I've got a stash, and there's only 2 left, because the ones in the kitchen are all used up, and I went to Coles before and I forgot to buy more. So this past week, after the mowers, I haven't released any content because we've had parent-teacher interviews, we've had progress reports to do, There's been a whole lot of end-of-term stuff at the school, which is really, really busy. Fortunately, that stuff's all sort of done and dusted now. I do have to do a bit of schoolwork over the holidays in that there's a Honda engine which has to be configured for a systems class. So it has to have an alternator mounted up on a rack, the motor has to mount, and we have to have wiring in the battery so I can store power and all that sort of stuff. So that won't be something I'm filming or putting on here. That's just school preparation stuff. And there's an old table frame actually I can cut up and use that sort of RHS stuff to make it with. Hello, John. How are you? It's only a small group tonight, John. I just thought I'd jump on and start banging on about the old XC Falcon. I'm ready to tackle the beast. Pardon me. Had a cold and went and got a COVID test. It was negative, so it was just a cold. And then the cold went away and now it's come back again. Fun. So I had pretty good feedback from these models. I didn't expect that, but there was a lot of good feedback about them or regarding them. I didn't expect them. I thought it was kind of good old YouTube suicide, bringing on lawnmowers and that sort of stuff. But I've done it in the past, and it has less success than the car and the motorcycle stuff. But in essence, it was good, relaxing. It was easy to do, you know, comparatively. And I got a heck of a kick out of it. And I still haven't. Now I've put them away. There's a couple that didn't start. I haven't even looked at them. I'm kind of not interested now. I can go back to that sort of thing later. But I really want to get back into cars and motorcycles. I sent Cruise an image in Japan, another email about all the brake stuff I ordered last August that never showed up. And I thought there might be a postage strike. Someone said they weren't sending stuff out of Japan because of COVID. Of course, no response. So $200, was it? Closer to $300 in parts just disappeared. So I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it, but it looks as though I'm not going to see any of it. And so I'm pretty miffed about that. It's disappointing to say the least. So all the Suzuki needs to finish is the front brake, and then that bike's done. Oh, and a regulator. I put a cheap one on, but I wouldn't mind getting a proper one. They're like $50. The CB354, all that needs is a rear brake rod, because the one I've got on it's the wrong one. I think the one I've got on it is an XL251, and that doesn't fit, doesn't reach. So that needs that, and then on a seat cover, and then that bike's finished. And the 750 still needs exhaust and a seat, and you know, a few other bits and pieces like that. So there's a lot of projects, but it's kind of I kind of do them in the mood to do them, if you know what I mean. And the XC I just haven't been in the mood for, but now I am. I'm actually quite keen to jump into it. I was going to do it when I got home from work, but I was a bit tired pushing all the cars out and that sort of stuff. And I thought, you know what, I'll get all my chores done tonight, apart from mowing the lawn, and then I can crack into it tomorrow. Do you think petrol engines are still under $2 per litre when the roof is getting trimmed? Petrol engines will still be under $2 per litre when the roof is getting trimmed. Hi Richard, you've got an old Rover 25 heavy duty self-propelled 8 horsepower Briggs if you want another big mower to play with. Jeez. Oh, getting more, hang on. Hi Peter, what about trying a Kawasaki Z500 from the 80s? That sort of thing comes up, I probably would. Richard, I've got to get into this Ford at the moment. That's the reason I'm sort of, I've got a list, which I read out before, about a bunch of things I've got to get these holidays in order to get that car driving and sort of to the point where I can move it around under its own power. And actually, I had a message from somebody who's affiliated with the Wolseley Car Club, and they have a Morris Major Elite that they want to sell, and that's exactly what I wanted, but I'm not ready for it at the moment. I've got no room. Chuck, do you think petrol engines will stay under petrol? I don't understand what the question is. Will stay under $2 per litre. Do you think petrol will stay under $2 a litre? I don't know. I'm really not worried. Happy Easter and all the best to you and your family. Thank you very much, Alan. That's wonderful. So there's still with the Ford, I've got to get a kick trim for the right hand side. The kick trim next to your feet, below the A-pillar. And there's a parts guy around the corner that took over from Ray Kwan, but last time I visited him once and I wasn't impressed with pricing. That being said, though, I think pricing for everything is just going nuts, and it's, you know, I don't want to drop $100 on one of those when it's worth 20. You know what I mean? I don't mean to sound lousy, but there's a ceiling when you restore something. There's always a ceiling, and you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to stop at this figure. And I did that with the XW. I wanted to get all the stainless polished, but I just thought there's $1,000 worth of work there. I'm going to stop at this figure, and I'm not going to go there. Otherwise you end up overcapitalizing, and it just isn't worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I'm not building Concours cars here because I can't. I haven't got the facilities to do that. I'm more interested in nice, clean dailies. That's what I wanted, and that's what the XWs turned out to be like. It's a bit nicer than a clean daily, but that's cool. I think what I'll watch you with a vacuum cleaner. I actually did one. Oh, it was one of Mum's, and it had a blockage in it. It's a German thing, costed like $2 grand or something. It was ridiculous. It's really small, but it sucked like crazy. So there was that funny Vaughan Shoneycast, who's an ex-parent from the school, offered me a sort of a really oldie vacuum cleaner. I've got one here actually, a Hoover Constellation. One of the ones when the jet age took off in the 60s, Hoover had these machines called the Constellation, which looked a bit like Saturn, as sort of a round thing with a ring around it, and that ring is just to support the top and bottom half. And they've no wheels; they've got a sort of a sled underneath them, and the motor exhaust from underneath the vacuum cleaner. So when you turn it on, it actually is on a cushion of air, so it doesn't need the wheels that skate around on this cushion of air. They're actually really cool. You used to see them heaps in the 1970s, and of course they ended up being all over the rubbish piles, and you don't see them so much anymore. I've stopped focusing on Aussie cars. Don't blame me. People have some rusty Tirana, and they think they have funded their retirement, asking like 30K for a rusty shell. It's out of my price league, that's for sure. Happy Thursday, Hugh. Yeah, you're right. Australian cars are ridiculous in price, and 20 grand gets you a bloody 6-cylinder Kingswood. And that's why a lot of people go for British or go for Japanese, and even some Japanese cars. It's just unheard of. Anything with a rotary engine's huge money. The Japanese cars are very usable and very drivable, very easy to drive. They're very pleasant to drive, and that's kind of why I like them. But I know a lot of Aussie cars, a Ford or sedan from the 70s, is more than you pay for a bloody convertible Cadillac almost. They're ridiculously priced. So I'm going to stop after this because there's the room problem as well, but I just don't have the money. That's why BMC sedans are a good prospect, because no one thinks they're worth anything. They've gone up. What's a good 2480 worth now? 12,000? Probably more. You used to pick those up for nothing. Fred Holmes picked up a 2480 for $2,400 and cleaned it up, and it's one of the best ones I've seen. BMC sedans have got a lot of charm. English cars have an awful lot of charm, and they don't drive, and they don't sort of sound like anything else. I like them. I've got a lot of time for English stuff. What parts are you searching refinishing the XC? I need the right-hand kick trim, the plastic one where your feet are. I need what do I need? Hang on, what do I need? I need a console lid. You can get repro ones. And I need a gear shift. It's got a single rail, and the console is for an automatic, so it needs the conversion kit for the console. And the kick trim. I need the kick trim. I need one of the eyebrows. I think it's the left eyebrow, the stainless molding. So your bottom one comes along, and then there's one that goes across and down, if you know what I mean. I need one of those. Just small stuff, really. The rest I've got. I mean, you can get a complete Dodge Dart with a big block in it in the States, land over here less than that. Yeah. Sasquatch, how are you today? Mark 1 Escorts here in England are huge money, yes, particularly those Mexico ones. The flared ones or the two-door ones, they're worth a lot of money. There was a Morris Major Elite for sale with 9,000 miles for, I think, 15 grand. Morris Major Elites have gone up. It's because they're cute. Hi Pete, wonder why you don't install your own windscreens. You seem so competent in other areas. I always get windscreens, I get guys in to do it. That way if they leak, I can blame someone. Or if they break them on fitting, they can do it again. You can with a cord, but also when they fit the cord and the rubber seal, they do actually put a screen sealer in. That's messy as crazy. So I just get them to fit them. And the other thing is the ones that use urethane, they use a gun, and the urethane is something that I actually don't know where to get it, and I'd soon just get them to do it. You don't pay much more. I mean, I paid, how much did I pay for the forward screen to get fitted? Supplying fitted was $300 or something. It was like, let's get them to do it. Will you be in touch? Oh, we'll be in touch by email. I have a box of kick panels, would you believe? You're kidding me. I'd love to buy a kick panel from you, Nathan. And it's the driver's one for the XC. So it's got perforations for a speaker behind it and a little recess for a vent, if you know what I mean. I don't care what colour it is, because I recolor them anyway. If you want to sell me one, that'd be awesome. Money will be worthless once they push the global reset and digital currency. Well, we're sort of getting there, aren't we? Everything's just so expensive. It's driving me crazy. Parts for cars. That bloody bloke that sells Ford parts is getting worse too. That guy up, whoop, whoop. Oh, I cringe when I see what he wants for parts. And I think to myself, the XC, I'm on 20, I think I mentioned before on the other feed, something like $28,000. A lot of money. But to do it now, it'll be at least double that. Because I was given a lot of parts, and also I got a lot of parts very, very cheaply through Ray before he retired. Through John at Old School, I got lots of, and through Jason, he gave me a whole stack of stuff. So I can't imagine what that car would cost to do now. In fact, it wouldn't actually be worth doing. Eskies got rare because people would buy them just for the drive lines to build up. Oh, the Lotus 7 replicas in the UK and scrap the shells. Yeah, of course. Lotus 7s in the UK, are they using a Kent engine, are they? Is that what you use? I thought you'd use something a bit bigger, a Pinto or something like that. Yeah, it's true. Are you using Kents in those things? Oh, hello, Marion. How are you today? How's Dave and your daughter? What's your daughter's name? How are they going, Rich? Old Dog New Tricks. They're making Escort Mark 1 new bodies and panels in the UK. Wow. The problem with making new bodies, and Boyd Coddington, hot rod restorer in the United States, got caught like this. When you make a new body, and also people that use heritage shells for MGs, you've got to actually have another shell to scrap so you can change the number over. Otherwise, it's a new car. Louise and Kirsten, say hello to them from your Richard. Crap, I know, sorry. I know you live with one of them. One of the girls lives with you, don't they? And the other one moved out midsummer. I thought she was interstate. Is she interstate? Yeah, so with the Heritage MG shells, you've got to have one to scrap, and you can change, so you can sort of transfer the number over and get around it that way. But otherwise, it becomes a new car and compliance 2021, and then you're up for an engine that has 2021 emission standards and all the electronics and all that sort of stuff. How's the Siggy going? I'm very embarrassed about the Sigma because I painted on really crummy paint, and I've got to redo a lot of it. And there's cracks and bubbles and all sorts of things. I've left it outside under a wet cover, which was kind of bad, and I've ruined it. So I've got to redo bits of that. Plus, some of that wasn't my fault. Okay, so she's gone to Dalesford for Easter. David is in Wagga at Kirsten Coldstream. Okay, so Kirsten's closed. David would be back though because he's driving trucks, isn't he? So is Wagga only a temporary thing? And also, I've got a message from you. The wall shed is on the 10th of April. So I'm going to try and get there. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. What are we talking about? I've got to see where. Yeah, exactly. It happens. What do? I'll just redo it. And I'll take off all the dodgy stuff underneath. There was a book called Build Your Own Sports Car for £200 or less. By the way, you could not build one anything less than anything near as cheap. Well, you've got all your consumables and your brakes. You don't want to use second-hand brake stuff, do you? So you'd have to get all new stuff for that, I would think. And all the others, just the small bits and pieces, your seats and all sorts of stuff. Good evening, Esky Man. How are you today? Home is in Wagga, so she's living in Wagga, is she? Oh, he is. So that would be Dave, wouldn't it? I thought he lived with you. I thought he came back. They've been able to put his rig though, so I don't know why I thought that. Did you have a barbecue, Richard, this January? I know we had the COVID thing, so you probably couldn't have one. I used to love catching up with everyone. Where are the bikes up to? I have a 1970 CB 250, which I've not run in a couple of years. Going to get it started over Easter. Clean the carby bowls out, stick juice in it, it'll start straight away. I remember when I sold my GXL in the 2006 for 11,000, I thought I was winning. Prices are just crazy, and I reckon the bubble's going to burst. I'm really nervous about that. Where are we up to with the bikes? Yeah, so as I mentioned before, Cruising Image in Japan didn't send the brake stuff out. I dropped almost 300 Australian dollars on stuff that I ordered in August. It never came. I sent them another email recently, haven't heard back, and I won't hear back. That's $300 down the toilet, and I'm a bit annoyed about that. So to finish that, I'll put in a different regulator on that because they're unregulated power in those things. And the caliper and master, the hydraulic line will get peaked to make a new brakes. So it's basically a front brake and it's finished. The 354 just needs the rear brake rod. I can't find one. And you can buy them from America, but I know it sounds lousy, but I don't want to spend $50 on a brake rod and $70 postage for a brake rod, which is a piece of mild steel rod that long. I've even thought about buying one. Oh, I don't think the classic cars motorcycles are finished and the global reset is growing and growing. They've been, yeah, look, do I think they're finished? Probably, but no, I don't. There's always, the thing is with this sort of stuff is sentimentality always overtakes common sense, and that's just all there is to it. There's always going to be someone who wants this stuff, whether it's as expensive, don't know. Then you'll get the people that want them to put electric motors in, which I probably wouldn't with some of them, but you know, you would with a Starlet or something, but you wouldn't do it with an XY V8 because it just wouldn't be the same. Mate, do you reckon the Sigma will become collectible? I have a G80 extremely popular, and she's extremely popular at car shows. It's popular because you never see them anymore. Yeah, they will be because everyone can relate to those things. Everyone's had a Sigma, or everyone's mum, or everyone's auntie, or grandpa, or there's been a gazillion. Sigmas were like Corollas in the early 80s, in the late 70s, early 80s, and GEs and GHs are the popular ones. Some people ask a lot of them for things like GK GSRs because they've got forward disc brakes and all sort of other stuff. But they're a heavy car to drive. The GK is not bad because it's a 2.0, most of the 2.6 is power steering. That's where I got mine from. And, you know, they make a sound that as soon as I got in mine and drove it again, I thought, oh, and started up. You just hear that balance shaft sound. People love that stuff. Okie dokie. Yeah, I like to see. I would finish mine off. Eventually, I'll probably put a little hair dryer on it. I don't know, but it'd have to look all factory. From memory, kick panels from my old Rallyback XC panel. It must go. Have a great night. Oh, thank you. Email me, Susie and Peter Anderson at gmail.com. It's all one word, all lowercase. Susie as in I-E. And I'd love to send you some cash if you can post it down. GEs are the best model. Well, GEs are a JDM Galant, and that's why people want them. I like the GHs. I always preferred the GH, but that doesn't mean I'm right. That's just a taste thing. I have a diesel. Oh, you're a diesel mechanic. You're one up on me. I love both cars and bikes, much like yourself. I have a sports truck, chopper, XS650 and XS750 bugger, cafe racer, and a Yamaha IT175. It's hard to stay focused. I get it. I always wanted an IT. I loved them. I thought ITs were like PEs, the Suzuki PEs, which were kind of like a detuned RM with lights. And I always used to think of the ITs as a bit like a Wave. And I've had a couple of YZs. What's happening with the XC? About to start on it again, pulling it out tomorrow, blowing dust off it, taking measurements for brake lines, tail shafts, and getting seatbelts rewebbed and always making it drivable so that I can let's move it around. The Super Sedan Sigma was the top trim level. Yay. Yeah, it was. It had power windows and all that sort of stuff. They call them super saloons. They had a two-tone paint job. There was a brown and beige colour, I think, and a silver and blue. And they also have a bigger tunnel. So they're all automatic. So they're very popular with people who want to put V8s in because they've got that bigger automatic tunnel. Sigmas are a bit like old HD and AH Holdens in that the autos have a different tunnel in. Hi Peter, the Late Break Show with Johnny Smith. Hang on, I'm missing something. YouTube, oh, the Late Break Show with Johnny Smith for a look at the Mark 1 and 2 Escorts being built in the UK. A lot of people are doing E-types and MGs in the UK with modern kit in them. They're £100,000, like an MG GT, MGB GT with modern drive. Is that the sort of thing they're doing? And they're paying like £80,000, £90,000. That's huge money. Drove a GHSE 3x20s for 10 years. Best car I've owned. Yeah, they're good. They're very reliable. Love the interior of your GXL. You can thank Jason Hill for that. He trimmed it in a fabric I chose. I wanted the pale green. I've always wanted a white car with pale green interior, and you never see them. Pale green interiors are generally in green cars, green and green. But I really wanted that. And that interior is a thing called macro suede, so you can literally get a pen and draw on it, use kitchen cleaner, it wipes straight off. It's amazing. I've got to fix the reverse on the XC gearbox too. There's not enough of a lockout. So you're supposed to push it down across to get reverse, and you can just push it over. So that would be dangerous at the lights if you go for first and reverse by mistake. What am I fixing? I'm fixing an XC Falcon. Oh, you had 9T 490. Yeah, you want to hang on to that. I've never ridden one. I don't think I want to ride one. They're very, very quick. The IT 250 was very fast. You can buy brand new Escorts with a body chill. So that's what we're up to. Lots of car stuff coming up. Of course, there's lots of family stuff I've got to sort out as well. And Mum's in care now, so but it's funny because when Mum went into care, I could I sort of freed up a lot of time, but then work, I had to do more as far as work was concerned. The courses I'm running, and I've got a BCA class this year, and that takes good time. And I've got a really naughty kid in there. It's so disconcerting. The best class I've got at the moment is a year 10 class, believe it or not, and those kids are just wonderful. And that's small engine. And I've got a really great year 9 product design, like a woodwork class. Love your Mo videos and your attention to detail on all your projects. Happy Easter to you and your family. Thank you so much, Sasha. Gearbox troubles suck. I just popped a refurbished box and engine into my Mini. The engine is great. The gearbox won't select first and second. Damn. Selector problem, huh? Maybe it's a synchro ring or something. Oh, 1966 Ford F-150. They are beautiful. Is that an FE big block? I'd love one of those with an FE. Everything about restoring a Holden? Yes, I want to do a Tirana. I really want to do a Tirana. An LC or LJ. I actually prefer LCs. I've had 4 LJs. I want to do an LC. I want to do a 6-cylinder Holden guy going, what a heap of crap. You'll get the same with, you talk about Holdens, you get some Ford, Bonehead. The thing is, they're all good. It doesn't matter what it is. I couldn't care less. And the same with bikes. And I find 9 out of 10 people just wonderful. It doesn't matter what they're interested in. Has my thing gone off? I've just lost half an audience. My audience has just dropped off dramatically. They'll be open on Tuesday. Uh-oh. What's happened? What's happened? There's a whole lot of people dropped off. Since I coughed, is this fluent? Is it working? The feed dropped off. Oh, there's some people coming back now. Is it fluent? Can you hear me? Or is it like all jarring and horrible? I can always come back later. I kind of like doing these feeds. Is it fluent? Can someone answer me? Is the feed fluent? Hi Pete, what projects do you have planned for Easter school holidays? XC Falcon. That's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, froze for a bit, but you're back. Feed's okay. All good. Thank you very much. Oh, what a relief. Internet, hey? And I'll tell you what it is. It'll be my bloody children all on YouTube on their phones. Yeah, it's that shitty. That's all right. You can say that. I don't mind. That's not that rude a word anyway. Thank you very much, Ram. I got $10. Haha. That's going on the XC. I've got to buy XC stuff. So do you want me to read the list out again? I read it at the start, but some of you probably missed out on it. So I've got to get the front seat belts re-webbed, the interior plastic trim, which Nathan said he's got one. That's for the right-hand side, the kick trim. I've got to get a tail shaft for it. It'll be a few $100. Rear brake lines I've got to get made. I actually don't flare my own. I get a guy at the brake joint to do that. Bleed the brakes. I've got to modify the clutch fork. It's a little bit too short and the stick's on too much of an angle with the little actuator rod. So I'm going to cut it, weld it, the boot lid, I've got to buff that. I painted it and stuck it on, and the shut line's terrible. I just sort of, like that, stuck it, shut it, and that was it. Because I've got to sort that out and put Grant Wickham's trims across the boot and make it look nice. So the XC will look finished. Oh, I've got to get a insulation panel for behind the back seat. Then the whole back of the XC from the front doors back is finished, except the console. Can you do a program on adjusting XC boot lids and bottom adjustment? I've got to work that out for myself. Putting a 3.8 litre in a Gemini. Might have to put wheelie bars on it too. That's going to fly. That's going to go really, really well. So I'm relaxed now. Mum's in care. That's all good. I'm not relaxed so much about Susie. She's in sort of limbo. So we've got to look after her. And also work is over for 2 weeks, but I still have some work to do here where my employment's concerned. So that's all right. I don't mind. I was halfway through watching Ronan and playing Scrabble online. Well, I stopped to watch Pete. Thank you so much, Phil. Is there anything I can tell you that you don't already know? I hope there is. I hope I can maintain your interest because my feeds do tend to be they fluctuate quite a bit. So it's all about the XC. So, yeah, I've got to get that all sorted. So hopefully everything will be opening up again Tuesday and I'll go and I'll do some mass ordering and just get this thing on the road. I've got to finish it. I'm sick of talking about it. People always say, when's the next XC video? And I'll be doing a motorbike or a lawnmower. And it's kind of hanging over my head, but I'm actually pumped about it now. So you have your break from it. The XC's been a fighter. It's fought me and fought me and fought me. And the reason it's been like that is I have made that out of lots and lots of different parts, and it was an empty shell when I got it. I bought a donor car, which was a ZHBL amp, and that provided a lot of stuff. Hopefully the thread hasn't dropped out again, but yeah, it's all right. And, you know, even the back seat frame is made out of a Fairlane one, which won't fit in the Falcon because they're thicker at the edge, and a Falcon 500 one. So I sort of welded up the frame and did this and did that. The car's very much a custom, even though it doesn't look like it. And it's not painted in a Fairmont GXL colour. I couldn't get new Fairmont GXL trim, which is why it's trimmed in macro suede, which in my mind looks a lot better, but it's not original. People do like original. I don't care. It was a car I did for me in every specification I wanted. So I wanted a 351 manual with power windows. I wanted it white. I wanted a green interior. I thought I'd sort of start with it. Who's my GH parts supplier? There was a guy in Adelaide that was selling parts. I sort of just picked them up off eBay, really. So let's face it, the XC hasn't been the most straightforward resto. It was horrible compared to the XW. I've said this a number of times. The XW was a complete car, but I knew exactly what I was doing. Man, hydroblasting is the best thing for restoring cars. The first time I had some parts done, I thought the guy was lying to me and had the paint stripped and manually sprayed them with silver. So awesome. The finish you get, I took the worst pitted, badly painted rocket cover for the Sigma in. That's an alloy one. Got it back and it looked like new old stock, except better. Looked like new. And it looks like it has a flat silver paint job. It is beautiful. The wheels on the Sigma were done. I should have powder coated them, but I didn't in the clear. But yeah, hydroblasting is definitely the way to go. And it's so gentle on the parts. It doesn't actually take any metal off. It pins it. And so it's very, very good for the parts, or at least it doesn't hurt them. Sandblasting, if you go and take a rocket cover or something to get sandblasted, you get it back and it's just so damaged. You know, that's why powder coating sticks so well to it. So for example, all of the mower handlebars were rusty and the chrome was peeling. I had them sandblasted and powder coated and they're silky now. But if you were to take that powder coat off, you know, it's pretty rough. So obviously I would not sandblast a car. You can't hydroblast the whole car, but it's very gentle. Get both. What are we up to with that? I can't see it. Get both so you don't have to decide. Oh, hold on forward. Do you mean the next car or what I prefer? Because I like everything. Do you still hear from your mates in Canada? Yes. One of them sent me a text in the last 30 years of the viewings he bought. And I spoke to Andy on the phone. I spoke to Gary for an hour on my phone, on the mobile. I thought this is going to hurt, but it didn't. And I spoke to Andy for about half an hour. Scott I called a while ago, but he texted me the other, well, probably a week ago, he texted me. But yeah, we still communicate. I haven't, made any plans to go back, obviously, with COVID and that sort of thing. And I don't think I can at the moment anyway. But, there's a lot of stuff going on here that's very expensive. Yeah, so once the XC is finished, I've got to do the Bluebird as well. So I'll get into that as well. The Bluebird and the XC both need to go on the road. Yeah. Then I'll potter on the Sigma and finish up some of the screw ups on that while I do the Plymouth. And the Plymouth, I've still got to take the body off the frame to put new body mounts on. So, and I've got them, I just haven't got around to doing it. You're over in Canada by Ardrossan. Yeah, well, that's where they are. You're very close to them. How do you? You're over in Canada by Ardrossan. Yeah, well, that's where they are. You're very close to them. I had a ball in Canada. I really enjoyed the people. I went to Lake Garni this year to watch the fastest little in the world, 173 miles an hour XF, unmodified apart from the engine, a 4.0 with a single 4-speed, 173 miles an hour. It's the roof. That is flying, and they're not all that. They're not all that aerodynamic, are they? 173 miles an hour. That is nuts in a Falcon. What's that, like 280 k's? What's 173 miles an hour? How's the XW? Love that series. XW is great. I took it out a fortnight ago, and it's a beautiful car. So I've now got a power steering pump for it, and I'm just collecting bits as I see them or as they come up. I'll get a steering box. So I'm going to put power steering on that, but I'll put on the later type of power steering. And I also want to get a hypo 289 headers for it. So I've got one, yeah, and the other one's a 302 one. So it's always had odd exhaust manifolds, which I've never been happy with. So I'll get the other one, the right-hand hypo 289 header for it, and then they're nice and even. It's good. And put power steering on it and change out the springs and the rear springs and all that sort of stuff and just fix it. It needs to be finessed, but I've got too much other stuff to do before that. It's a brick. Yeah. About 200. You sure it's 243? What's 173 miles an hour? So 173 times 1.609. 278 k's an hour. Yeah, that's 280 k's an hour. That is flying. Am I right with that? Or am I wrong? In a Falcon. Wow. That's pulling ass. Yeah, that's a lot. My tea's going cold now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm now in a position where I can do it. It's just been dragging on. This will be the 6th year. So I got the XC, I think, in July 2015. 2015. And it had rust in it. 280 k's in a Falcon with rust. Jeez. Yeah, I've never been 150. The fastest I've been in a car would be 120 miles an hour. Yeah, I've never been 150. The fastest I've been in a car would be 120 miles an hour. That would be the fastest I've ever been. How fast was that GTHO doing when the photographer took photos? It was doing 140. Indicated. That would be the fastest I've ever been. How fast was that GTHO doing when the photographer took photos? It was doing 140. Indicated. So, what were your thoughts about the current price of the old muscle cars? Ridiculous. And are they going to retire early with these prices? It depends how long they stay high for. And I keep talking about this, and I don't know, but I reckon the JDM stuff's going to take off. It depends how long they stay high for. And I keep talking about this, and I don't know, but I reckon the JDM stuff's going to take off, and this stuff won't. And there'll be a whole different ball game when EVs get really popular as well. So it's a really uncertain time in my view. This stuff won't. And there'll be a whole different ball game when EVs get really popular as well. So it's a really uncertain time in my view. Look, nothing might happen. And on the other hand, heaps of stuff might happen. Who knows? I really don't know. I hope they stay high. If just, not high, but a little bit, because, I've got money invested in mine. But having said that, I didn't invest all that much considering what some people have. Oh, just once it was my car. I had to take top speed run just to say I did, just to know. I did 170 k's in an old XF, and boy, the light steering wouldn't want to go any faster. Yeah. I did it in the XD when I was a kid on a colder freeway. I was going very fast in that. Can't say what I was doing in it. And I just crap my pants. It was dark and the headlights aren't great. And I thought that was a suicide run. And I did 60 all the way home after that. I just thought that was so stupid. I scared myself witless. What do we got? He turned out without oil, gave him 5 litres of oil. Halfway down the engine let go, and they shut the Falcon, and they shut the salt down for 4 hours. Got a 91 EB Fairmont gear V8. They're getting hard to get. A lot of those have been gutted for their engines too. So lots of Fairlanes and Falcons from the early 90s with the 302. Got an HP window up to 180, and that thing was shaking so badly. I saw the front cross member was going to fall out, so I backed off. Yeah. You don't get a chance at that speed. They're just gone. You just hit anything, you're gone. Oh, I forgot to say, it was an LPG. With the LPG though, you can load you can run a crap load of advance in them, I think. And it wouldn't have been the old LPG. It probably would have been direct LPG, would it? God, can you imagine that? Pulling up in a gas Falcon with rust in it, and then pulling out 175 miles an hour. I mean, that guy knows what he's doing. It reminds me of that old, hello Graham, how are you? It reminds me of that old farm truck you see. It's American, and it pulls up the line next to Corvettes and all these things, and it just blows them into the weeds, and it's got something like a 500 cubic inch Chevrolet rat motor in it. Graham, how are you? Whereabouts do you live, Graham? You're in Adelaide. I'd love to ship a guard off to you. That's good. I've got your sticker. I haven't got it in here. I've got it in the garage. So you're in Adelaide. I can't freight a guard to Adelaide. That's a pain in the neck. I'm going to ask you to do it. Send some cash, but it's not going to be worth it if it's in Adelaide. As soon as I can get that front guard repaired, I can paint those 2 bits, and then the car's pretty well finished. I've got a front bumper. Just get the headlights resilvered. John said they're going to make XC Fairmont GXL headlights repro next year. About 10 minutes south of the CBD. I look forward to seeing more videos, mate. I thought I would let you know your videos are great and notifications are turned on. Thank you very much, Luke. You're the Luke Smith I used to teach. I used to teach a kid called Luke Smith. Real tall guy. Grant, g'day Grant. I mentioned you before with that boot trim and everything you sent me, so I'm getting ready to put all that on the car. So we're getting the XC out tomorrow. Making good money these days. Yeah. There was a really cool 1979 KZ1000 for sale with a fairing light going for $4,000. That's cool. Yeah, you would. Hello, Andy Brook. I was just texting you, and you have half motivated me to finish my Falcon, right? So I'll ring up that joint. You reckon they'll be open on Tuesday? And I might actually drive my seatbelts down there so that we can get. I want to get them reworked quickly so I can put the interior bits together. And I've got to get a tail shaft made at Knox, and then the brake lines fitted and bled, which is nothing. And then we can drive the car out of the garage and put the XW on the back. I won't be here much. I'll probably say another 15 minutes, pardon me, or so. Scott did like a 5-hour live feed. I don't know how we did 5 hours. Oh, so you drop them down there and they're ready around a week later. Cool. Were they expand? I think only like 150 each or something. They weren't that dear. I'd be more than happy to fix them, but the key would be getting them back to you without damage. Yeah, no. How can you freight a guard? Do you know one good freight company? Actually, it's lousy, but they're very, very cheap. And that's Ego. That's an online join. I've had a few things through Ego. Even if they're a bit damaged, they can't be more damaged than they are now. I wouldn't mind sending it to you and getting a quota, and I'll just drop some money. Because I don't want to do it. It's right on the crown. It's being pushed flat, and I don't know how to fix it. I had a direct 16 cleaver with a mega squirt linked to the dizzy. God, that would make some serious power. No, is that you, Buggy? Oh no, that's somebody else. I thought you were someone I knew. You've got the mullet to a ponytail. I know. That's pretty. Okay, so Grant, Ego, let's go. What do you reckon? I've had 2 things sent from Ego and they're dirt cheap. They're like quarter the price of any other freight mold. And they were fairly reliable, but you don't hear from them. You take your stuff to the depot, never hear anything, and then you eventually hear that it got there. They've got a lot of depots, so there's one just around the corner from me in Bayswater, very easy to get to. Yeah, you use them for work. I wonder if I can send this to Graham. I feel like a bit of a prick doing it. But... Oh, so you've used furniture freighters to move car seats and panels. Oh, I never thought of that. My friend Nice Snacky's dad's new 95 RX-7 out for a blast one night. He was away with work and the thing would cruise at over 200 k's an hour. Gee whiz, that's flying. Oh, you're not fixing it for fun. My God, you're a nice bloke. But I wouldn't expect that. But I'm telling you, I wonder if I can strap one on a pallet. Is that doable? Graham, I know. Graham is a ridiculously good beater. He's really good. And I'm like, they all damage shit, yeah. Andy, yeah, Graham, that there's a bit of work in Andy's. Graham's work is so bloody good though. Send his whole XCM. You don't have to send your whole XCM. You just got to send some doors and guards. I went downtown for a motorcycle cruise. I seen a clown on a unicycle and a hobo. They got hit through a burning blanket, yelling boo at cars driving past. That is weird. Years ago, are there any Americans here? Years ago, I went to Los Angeles and I was on Venice Beach, and they got this boardwalk on Venice Beach. And there's this guy, he looked almost Jamaican or something, and he's wearing a turban on his head, and he had a caftan, like a big gown thing like Dennis Roussos. He's playing an electric guitar with a belt-mounted amplifier on rollerblades, and he's going around serenading people, and they tip him. It was really entertaining. I love that, Andy. Can I send my whole XC over for you to repair them for fun? Oh my God, that is really funny. Oh, gee whiz. Yeah, I love busters. I think, is this dropping out again? Apparently the bandwidth isn't very good and NBN's playing up. So you'll repair them for fun, Jesus. Which if I put my address, if I put my, okay, so your postcode, Graham, have you got, actually I'm thinking about it, because this will be the thing that pushes me over the line. And I was just gonna I don't know how to send them though. Can I put, okay, so your postcode, there'll be an Ego depot near you, and I'm going to pay for them. I don't expect you to do them for fun. Yeah, take the offer. I know. I'm gonna take the offer. I'm gonna take the offer because if I get them back and I can just paint them, that would finish the car. And I want to pay him for it. I don't want him to do them for free. He's a professional, and this is one for me, I know. And so many people have pulled me over the line with this bloody car. And you can see some of the crap that's on it. Someone's welded up the antenna hole. It looks like arse. It really does. Maybe I can make up on a pallet a frame to hold them both, so they're sort of floating off one another. I'll see. That would push me over the line. You should still have my email address. Oh, I have. Hang on, let me just go and have a bit of a look. Hang on. Let me have a look. Hang on. Let me have a look. No. Graham. I can't remember it though. Hang on a second. No, it's Graham without an H, isn't it? Graham. Graham Geddes, Graham Russell. Is it Graham Russell? It's not Graham Russell, is it? Okay, wait. What are you wanting to put on a pallet? What are you shipping? The front guards for the XC. Hey, Pete, do you know Shane Bright from Ford Muscle Car Club? That's a nice XC. You might not have... my guards are great. Is the HJ carb in the mail? Not yet. No, I haven't. I've been really busy at work, mate. That HJ carb's 1976. So I don't know if it's an emissions one or not. Hello, Elliot. How are you? I imagine it was 1970. Well, HJ can be 1975. I actually don't know. I actually don't know. Either the Brill cream has come out or you've had a haircut looking good. There's no Brill cream. No. I've just got it pulled back with one of these. One of those. Your email. What's your surname, Graham? Is it Russell? Are you Graham Russell? What's his freaking email? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong email account. Hang on. No, you must be in this one. Sorry, Graham. I'm just a dick. I don't know what I'm doing. In this one. Sorry, Graham. I'm just a dick. I don't know what I'm doing. Search. I feel like a real. Is it Mega? Hang on, let me have a look. Old computer bits. No, that's not him. What's his blasted name? Is it XA Coop Guy? Wouldn't be XA Coop Guy, would it? XA Coop Guy. That's not him. What's his name? Have you still got my email address? Furniture freight generally should be around $80 to $90 a cubic meter with a minimum volumes, of course. My guards were wrapped in blankets and brought down from Queensland. They survived the trip. Parent test interviews were nuts. I had 50 of them or something. And I finished at 20 past 8. G'day, Neil. How you going? I'm sending... there's a lovely bloke on here, Graham, the XA Coop guy. He does heaps of bodywork. Oh, Newbury. That's it. Okay, so... yeah, don't call me on the phone. I really don't like being called on the phone because I'm just busy all the time. And tomorrow will be no exception. In fact, I probably won't have the phone with me quite often. I'll leave it inside. Email and text I'm cool with, but don't call because most of the time I won't even answer it. And I don't mean to sound rude, but I use every minute of the day and very rarely sit down till about 8:30, 8 o'clock at night, something like that. And then I just don't want to talk to anyone. I'm exhausted. I don't mean to be rude, though. Please don't take that as me being rude. What am I saying? Worst case, what am I saying? Worst case, I'll flick you an email. Oh, good. Can you send me an email and tell me some bank account details or something? And I'll send them to you and just quote them. Good. Can you send me an email and tell me some bank account details or something? And I'll send them to you and just quote them. because I just can't be asked doing it. And I'll keep looking at them thinking, yeah, no. You know what I mean? I'm freaking fed up with them. I don't mind painting them, but I just don't want to do the bodywork on them. I've done the bodywork on the rest of the car, and I just don't want to do it anymore. And I could do it, I guess, but that line is the line, that's sort of the high line above the wheel arch where the black molding, body side molding goes. Get that wrong, and the whole world knows about it. You know what I mean? And it's like the line on the XW and XY C pillar. It's got like a line halfway up that sort of does that. Even through a vinyl roof, you'll see it if that's wrong. And I had to redo mine, and I got it spot on, but it took me ages. I showed a teacher a defect sticker for April Fool's Day, and he went out of his head. Off his head. Good on you. Yeah, bring it back. I've hit a dead end for a while now. Well, hang on, I don't know what we're talking about. I've lost it. I still think Graham is ham-fisted from the Ford Forum days. Oh, he was on the Ford Forum, was he? The same guy. I didn't know that. Do you still use the Ford Forum, Andy? SSB POM? You haven't had an SSB for a while. Oh. Have we lost connection again? That'd just be so great if I could get them looked at. It would just make life so much easier. And then just got to think about how. So, Andy, when they, Andy Brooke, when they freighted your guards, did they wrapped them in blankets? Did they? Were they sort of stuck on top of each other? I might make up a pallet. That might be the way to go. I'll just make a pine pallet. That might be the easiest thing to do. Just get some of that bent bunning stuff. And that might be the way to do it. God, that'd be helpful if I can get that done. Jeez. Make some videos on it. You know, you can video chat to your viewers on live streams with the streaming app, Stream Tabs app. No, I didn't know. It adds another dimension to the discussion. If anyone is obscene, you can just kick them off. No one's done it yet. The troller didn't get me last week, and he hasn't got me this week. And I asked one guy, and believe it or not, I haven't had it since, but I didn't think it was him. Can you text when you send it? And is that gearbox a V8 one? What gearbox? I don't have a gearbox for holding the V8. I've got an inlet manifold and a Rochester quadrijet, and I can send it to you for free. Just click to a quick email. See if it's there. Howdy, Peter from XA Crypto. Oh, you've got my address and everything there. That's right, because you sent me some new old stock stuff. Love your stream the other day. Do you have a postal address? Oh, hang on. I don't know. That was something different. Hey, bud, touching base again. Awesome. That was 1 minute ago. Thank you very much, Graham. Awesome. Oh, it's so helpful. Jesus, that'd be so helpful. Do you know how much I've been dreading that? I just don't want to do it. I shipped a bonnet for an XD to Brisbane to Cairns on Ego. To Cairns. Yeah, I'm going to use Ego. Graham, can you send me your postcode? Because I want to find out what the nearest, what's it called? The nearest depot to you is. I mean, the carbon inlet manifold. Text when sent. Yes, I will. It's just a matter of getting around to it. Sorry, I'm not very good. Yeah, so it's a Rochester quadrijet and an inlet manifold for Holden 308 red or 253 red. It's amazing seeing some of those forums. Surprised some of them still exist. It's when they are frozen in time from 2008. Yeah, I haven't used. I get on forums every now and then, but I kind of get sick of them really easily. The Ford forum, I wrote a comment about a 302 Windsor being sluggish. Now, what was the comment in relation to? I can't remember. And I drove one. It could have been like a Fairlane. I drove one Fairlane that hammered, and the other one was gutless. And they said, no, that's not conducive. That's not. They removed the comment because they thought I was trying to stir up stuff. And I just thought, I can't be bothered being sort of governed by a guy like that didn't really get the whole gist of what I was trying to say. What time is it now? Oh, it's only 8 o'clock. I might go in a minute. What have we got? Yeah, we've been here nearly an hour. I might get off. And has anyone else got anything to say? I might go and I don't put the kettle on again. Look, cold tea. There's still tea in there. Can we see? I'm going to spill it. Yeah, it's cold. I've got to go down to the shops and buy more tea bags. Hey, Scott, why are you coming on when I'm about to go? How are you going with the Buicks? Let's talk Buicks. What's going on? Is this your new hardtop gig that you're going to be doing, or are you going to push a Plymouth in front of it? Yeah, all's well. What music do I listen to in the old cars? Whatever's on the radio. Or I just listen to the exhaust. One broken rocker arm, is that all it's got? So are they nailhead V8s? They'd be old nailheads, wouldn't they? 360s and whatever. It's good to see you. I haven't spoken to you for a while. Someone else was asking about you actually just before. One broken rocker arm. That'd have to be a nailhead, wouldn't it? Yeah. I wouldn't mind that cup of tea. I said, yeah, it's just too cold. I just sent you a new email with details. Right. Are there any dick pics? I'm kidding. I don't really want that. Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. It's lovely to see everyone. We've lost a lot of our audience. Tim and either I suck or the bandwidth on here because all the kids are on the internet, so it's probably a bit jerky. Anyway, at the end of the day, thank you very much to everyone for joining. Been good fun as usual, and I'll see you soon.